Hello guys and welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you top 20 upcoming games for 2021. Begin with number 20, Hood, Outlaws and Legends. It is intense PvP multiplayer heist game where players take part in a violent medieval world where they would need to outplay rival gangs and stealth to steal treasures unseen or by dominating through loud by brutal combat only to escape with hard-earned riches. And for number 19 we've got Deathloop. Deathloop is an upcoming action-adventure video game developed by Arcane Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks. The game is to be released for PlayStation 5 and Windows on May 21st in 2021. Deathloop has the player in the role of a cult, an assassin that is stuck in a time loop waking up on a beach at the island of Black Reef. The other residents of Black Reef, a former army base where a strange experiments had once been held, have invested in the island and have gathered for the night to hold a party that seemingly lasts forever. At the end of each night, the island resets to the start of the party in the time loop. Because of this reset, the party goes pay no heed to their actions or dead sin. They woke up at the start of the loop with no memories or effects the previous loop. While Colt is a part of this loop, he retains the memories from each loop, learning the behaviors and patterns of the party goes with each loop. For number 18 we've got Back 4 Blood. Back 4 Blood is an upcoming multiplayer survival horror game developed by Turtle Rock Studios and published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. It is slated for release in June 22nd in 2021. The game has been considered to be the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, as it being developed by the creators of the original game and features largely identical gameplay. The game was announced at the Game Awards 2020 and came nearly a decade after a Turtle Rock Studio split from Valve, who published both Left 4 Dead titles and still owns the rights. And for the gameplay is similar to Left 4 Dead. Both are 4 players cooperative games and 8 players and PvP mode with the focus multiplayer and replayability and new features of Back 4 Blood is cards. At the start of each level, players need to build their deck with cards that adjust various elements of gameplay, such as modifying the player's health, damage, and stamina along with the player cards. At the art director will also use corruption cards against the player to hinder their progress. The all can be spawn extra enemies, active fog effects, and increase the size of the horde. And for number 17, we've got Elden Ring, is an upcoming action role-playing game developed by From Software and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. The game is collaborative effort between the game director Hidetaka Miyazaki and fantasy novelist George Martin, and will be released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Elden Ring began development in early 2017 following the release of The Ranged City, a piece of downloadable content of Dark Souls 3. As with the Miyazaki Souls games, Elden Ring will have the ability for players to create their own costumes, characters, instead of playing as a fixed protagonist. Miyazaki also considered Elden Ring to be more naturally evolution to the Souls series, as the game will be much larger in the scale compared to them, featuring an open world with the new gameplay mechanics such as horseback riding and combat. And for number 16, we've got Returnal, is an upcoming third-person shooter science fiction psychological horror video game developed by Housemarque and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, set to be released for PlayStation 5 on March 19th, 2021. And for the gameplay, Returnal is a third-person shooter featuring roguelike elements set in a futuristic science fiction setting. The player controls Celine, a space pilot equipped with the suit and armed with the high-tech weapons, who stranded on an alien planet and stuck in a time loop. After every death, the pilot is resurrected following a pattern of traversing across foreign environments and combating extraterrestrial entities with a growing vision and ever-changing world. And for number 15, we've got Kena Bridge of Spirits. It is upcoming action adventure game developed and published by Ember Lamb. The story follows Kena, a young spirit guide who uses her magical abilities to help deceased people to move from the physical to the spirit world. The game presented through a third-person perspective. The player uses Kena's staff for attacking enemies and her blue's ability for defending against the attacks. They are tasked with collecting small spirit compositions known as the Rot, who help to complete tasks and battles against the enemies, and the game was announced in June 2020. Kena Bridge of Spirits is scheduled for release in March 2021 for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. And for number 14, we've got Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, as an upcoming action role-playing video game developed by Hardsuit Labs and published by Paradox Interactive, a sequel to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2004. The game is a part of the World of Darkness series and based on the tabletop role-playing game Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 follows a human in 21st century Seattle who is killed and revived as a thin blood vampire with relative weak vampiric abilities. And the game is planned to be released in 2021 for Microsoft Windows and PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. Number 13, Ghostwire Tokyo is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Tango Gameworks and published by Bethesda Softworks for PlayStation 5 and Windows. The game is set to be released in October 2021. And the game played from the third-person perspective. The player can use a virus, psychic, and paranormal abilities to defeat the ghosts and spirits hunting Tokyo. Combat director Shanaro Hara described the combat as a karate meet magic, as the player character outlays hand movements inspired by Akuji Kaira, hand gestures to cast spells. When an enemy loses most of their health, it is cured and exposed, and the player can use takedown movements and to destroy it, killing the spirit. And for number 12, we've got Far Cry 6 is an upcoming first-person shooter game developed by Ubisoft Toronto and published by Ubisoft. It is the 6th main installment of a Far Cry series for Amazon Luna, Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Stadia. The game is set on Yara, a fictional Caribbean island ruled as a dictatorship by El President Anton Casello, who is raising his son Diego follow in his role. The player takes the role of a guerrilla fighter, Danny Rogers, attempting to topple Casello and his regime. And for the gameplay follows from previous Far Cry games, with the players using a makeshift weapons vehicles and hiring amigos, the new Fangs for Hire system to topple the tyrannical regime. And the game was originally scheduled for a release on February 18th, 2021 on Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S, and Stadia. Number 11, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is an action and adventure video game currently in development by Ninja Theory, currently confirmed to be one of the new titles in development for Xbox Series X. The game once again stars Senua's on a journey through a hostile world based in the myths and legends of the Norse. Hellblade 2 was originally announced at the Game Awards 2019 as the flagship launch title for Xbox Series X console. Number 10, A New World is an upcoming massively multiplayer online role-playing game by Amazon Game Studios set to be released in early 2021. The game was previously scheduled to launch in August 2020, after being delayed from its May 2020 release date. Set in the mid-1600s century, players colonize a fictional land modeled after a colonial America and the Atlantic Ocean. The game will be using a buy-to-play business model, meaning there will be no monthly mandatory subscription. And in the game, the players may form groups of up to 5 members join of their faction, a murderers, syndicate and government. Outlaws node resource, craft a team, gain control over settlements, quest, just explore the sandbox, fighter over players or monsters. The gameplay involves no auto-locked targeting attacks. The sequel next targeting and therefore a steady hand at aiming. It is required with each level. The hostile mobs are programmed with the ever increasing complexity and strength sequence of attacking behavior skill sets that will require the player to counter using their mana, stamina and health with timed attacks, weapon blocks, retreats or crawling, stealth. Number 9. Halo Infinite is an upcoming first-person shooter game developed by 343 Industries and published by Xbox Game Studios for Windows and Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. It is the 6th main entry of the Halo series and is the 14th Halo game overall. It picks up the story of the Master Chief following Halo 5 Guardians. Halo Infinite was planned to release with Xbox Series X and S on November 10th, 2020, but it was delayed in August 2020, and now it's planned to be released in late in 2021. According to Microsoft, Master Chief returns in Halo Infinite, the third chapter of Reclaimer Saga, with his greatest adventure yet to save humanity. The storyline of Halo Infinite will be much more human, with the Master Chief playing a more central role than in Halo 5 Guardians. The E3 2018 trailer indicates that the story will be set on a Halo ring that has mysteriously suffered damage, and also showcased the design of Master Chief to return to the design seen in Halo 2 and Halo 3. The Banished. Number 8. Final Fantasy XVI. It is an upcoming action role-playing game developed and published by Square Enix for PlayStation 5. It is the 16th title in the mainline Final Fantasy series. The game is being produced by Anukyo Yasuda and directed by Hiroshi Taka. The game is set into the factional land Valstia, continue with the 6th faction that is one of the verge of conflict due to spreading a medley called the Blight. And the game set in a fantasy world of Valstia, where the people live comfortably thanks to mountains of crystal called the Mother Crystals. The world is controlled by 6 factions: the Grand Duchy of Rosoria, the Holy Empire of Samberku, the Kingdom of Worlds, the Dhalmican Republic, the Iron Kingdom, and the Crystal Lion domination. A central part of the plot is icons summoned monsters controlled by a man feasting through humans called dominates. Number 7, Shadow Warrior 3. It is an upcoming first-person shooter developed by Flying Wild Hog and published by Developer Digital. It is the sequel to the Shadow Warrior 2 2016. The game is set to be released for Windows in 2021. The game is a first-person shooter and the player assumes to control of Lu Wang, the series protagonist. In the game, Lu Wang has access to a large arsenal of firearms, which can be used to defeat the enemies. In addition, he also wields a katana, which is limited to close quarters combat. At close range, players can also execute an enemy. They can also use the environment to their advantage. Number 6, Gotham Knights. It is an upcoming action role-playing video game based on the DC Comics character Batman and his supporting cast. The game is being developed by WB Games Montreal and will be published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. It is set to be released in 2021 for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S, and it was first revealed at the DC Fandom in August 2020. The game's story takes place sometime after Batman's appearing death, with the GCPD having growing corrupt following James Gordon's death. There is a rise of crime and lawlessness in the city, leaving Batman's allies Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin, and Red Hood as the only ones able to restore justice to Gotham and prevent it from descending into chaos. At some point during the game, the heroes will come into conflict with the Court of Owls, a secret criminal society that is old as Gotham itself, and their legion of brainwashed assassins called Tyrants. And for the gameplay, the game is set in open-world Gotham City. The game features 4 playable characters: Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin, and Red Hood. Each character has their own unique playstyle and abilities, such as Robin being able to teleport via the Justice League's satellites, while it can be played solo. The game also features a 2-player comparative multiplayer mode, wherein the second player can drop in and out at any time without affecting the other one. Players can level up their characters, but enemies will be automatically leveled up as well. They can also use the Bat-Sickle to explore the city. And for number 5, we've got Nioh 2 Complete Edition. Nioh 2 Complete Edition is an action role-playing game developed by Team Ninja, both prequel and sequel to Nioh 2017. The game was released for PlayStation 4 on March 13, 2020, where it was published by Koei-Tecmo in Japan, Sony Interactive Entertainment worldwide, versions for Microsoft Windows and for PlayStation 5, titled with Nioh 2 Complete Edition, featuring all the previous downloadable content, will be released in February 2021. And for Horizon Forbidden West is an upcoming action role-playing game developed by Guerrilla Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It is set to be released in 2021 for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. It is the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn in 2017. And Horizon Forbidden West continues the story of Aloy, a young huntress of the Nora tribe sent on a quest to the Arcane Frontier, known as the Forbidden West, to find the source of a mysterious plague that kills all infects on her journey across these uncharted lands. Aloy encounters hostile regions ravaged by massive storms and equipped by dangerous enemies and deadly machines. She is also discovered a vast array of environments. And for the gameplay, as all of you know, it is a third-person game. Players controls Eloy, a huntress in a world by a dangerous machine set into the open world located. Number 4, The Lord of the Rings Golem. The Lord of the Rings Golem is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Deathloop Entertainment and published by Nakun. It's based on The Lord of the Rings. The game is scheduled to be released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. Number 2, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake. A remake of a game was announced at Ubisoft Forward 2020. Was originally scheduled to release on January 21st, 2021 for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but was later delayed to March 18th, 2021. The game announcement trailer drew criticism from fans who consider the game's graphics to be lackluster, particularly as it was being developed using the newest iteration of Ubisoft Anvil Next Engine. Ubisoft responded by stating that the visual style was an international choice, as they had wanted to be unique to make this game stand out from the other games. And for number 1, as all of you know this game and wait for this game, actually we didn't see the trailer of this game, but we can't wait to see it. It is God of War Ragnarok, and it is gonna be a massive, and the game will be released in this year 2021. And that was it for this video, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you find this video is helpful somehow. Anyway, that's it. Thank you all for watching and thank you for your support, and I will see you next time. Bye.